Moghaddam House, or Moghaddam Museum of Tehran University, is a historical building dating back to the late Qajar period in Tehran, which was the residence of the Evaz al-Mulk and Moghaddam families and is now a museum of historical objects. This museum house was originally a large and luxurious mansion in the residence of the family of Muhammad. Taqi Khan Ehtesab al-Mulk, a famous official of the Qajar court and head of the Ehtesab al-Mulk municipality of Tehran and the Minister of State for Iran in Bern, Switzerland, which later came into the possession of his son, Mohsen Moghaddam, a professor of archaeology at the University of Tehran. He and his wife, Salma Koyumjian, settled in his father's house in Tehran. Mohsen Moghaddam and Salma, who was born in Bulgaria and was the head of the library of the National Museum of Iran, in addition to their scientific activities, collected numerous works and objects with the aim of preserving Iran's cultural and historical heritage. Mohsen Moghaddam installed many of the valuable collected works, such as tiles, carved stone pieces, etc., inspired by traditional historical spaces, in a remarkable manner in various parts of this old mansion, and some others, such as a collection of fabrics, chopsticks, wafers, hookahs, pottery, glass, paintings, coins, seals, and historical documents, etc., were kept in a special order in his father's house. The Afat al-Mulk house is one of the relics of old Tehran that has now been converted into a museum. This house was donated to the University of Tehran by Mohsen Moghaddam, son of Afat al-Mulk. In 1972, Mohsen Moghaddam died in 1987, and after the death of his wife Salma in 1989, the custody of the Moghaddam Museum was transferred directly to the University of Tehran. The Moghaddam House is a late Qajar building located in Tehran, on the northern side of Imam Khomeini Sepa Street, Sheikh Hadi Street. It was registered as one of the national monuments of Iran on December 10, 1990, with registration number 2929. Mohsen Moghaddam was one of the founders of the Faculty of Fine Arts at the University of Tehran and a distinguished professor at the university. The emblem of the University of Tehran, the university's emblem, which he designed with inspiration from ancient Iranian history and culture, still remains on the university's facade. Despite all the changes in recent decades, he is the first Iranian to be honored with the Legion of Honor with the rank of officier by French President Charles de Gaulle. One of the distinctive features of this museum is the relative homogeneity of the architectural space with the historical monuments present in it. The space, with an area of 2,017 square meters, includes 3 courtyards: the outer courtyard, the inner courtyard, and the caretaker's courtyard. This courtyard was designed by Mohsen Moghaddam and his wife, inspired by the designs of Safavid and Qajar-era carpets, with a central pond and surrounding gardens.